Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to day 8 of the Ramadan training by kids for kids. We are so excited to have you here once again. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, just a reminder, you can click the link in the description box down below. And that way you can join us on Zoom for these live classes. We would love to have you. Like, the Zoom classes are different than like the YouTube classes. I feel like there's a lot more interaction going on. So we would love to have you and we'd love to join you. But with that being said, also follow us on all our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, it's all in the link in the description. And that way you could join us and you can also, inshallah, keep up with all the content that we have coming up. So I'm going to pass the mic off to the Mia sisters, the 3 best friends of Sunnah Camp, and they're going to talk about the next 3 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Assalamualaikum, Mia here.
Welcome to day 8 of our journey to learn and memorize the beautiful 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Let's get started. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi li inma.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي.
Today, the 3 beautiful names we are learning. Al-Wafir, Amayas, and Al-Masel. Al-Wafir is the one who raised it, appears in its Bible from 90 times in 15 different chapters.
So if you remember yesterday, we did the name Al-Hoffid. And for those of you who may not have watched the class or maybe have forgotten, I'll do a brief introduction of what we did. So Al-Hoffid means the reducer. Al-Hoffid is the one who lowers through humiliation to all those who think of themselves as being great, or the arrogant ones, are the ones with takabbur, and the conceited ones. He lowers their ranks for those who disobey him. And he doesn't just do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does it to those who deserve it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. Now the name we will look at today is Al-Rafi. And these 2 names, Al-Khafid and Al-Rafi, are like they go together. Where Al-Khafid means to reduce or lower one's rank, Al-Rafi means the exalter, the one who raises, so he raises their ranks. It comes from the verb rafa'a, which means to raise up, to exalt, or to uplift and elevate. Al-Rafi is the one who brings levels and ranks higher. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can raise the levels without any reasoning that we may understand. Sometimes we see that others are of higher position or their rank is much higher than ours, but that doesn't mean we can start questioning, because remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put them in that position and He knows what's best far better than we do. After all, He is Al-Alim. He knows what's best because He's the all-knowing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most exalted Lord of all creation. He raises the believer high through good expectation. Allah elevates pure hearts for their submission and high expectation of Him, their taqwa basically. The people of the Quran will be elevated in ranks. The person who knows more Quran is closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on the day of judgment, those who know more Quran for each ayah they recite, their ranks in Jannah will be going up for every ayah they know. So that's why we should strive to learn more ayahs and memorize them. The people who are arrogant and those who do takabbur will go down in rank. Allah says in the Quran, the one who believe on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be lifted high, and the one who with knowledge are higher in levels, Allah knows what you do. And that goes for all our private affairs. You know our true identity is like shown when we are alone. Because when we are in front of people, we try to do more good because we want to like show off that we're actually like, doing good and whatnot. But when we're alone, the hidden things we do or the things that we think we're doing in private, and we're not going to get caught, know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching, and we will be held accountable for those wrong things that we did even when we were in private. So do good even when you're alone or no one's watching.
Al-Mu'izz means the omnivore, and Al-Musil is the humiliator. They are two very similar names. These names also come in the Bible and from the Surah Al-Baqarah.
Surah Ali Imran.
Al-Mu'izz, the honorer, and Al-Muzil, the humiliator. We're going to start with Al-Mu'izz. This derives from the verb azza, with ayn at the start, to be honored, to value. Great manner, to reinforce or fortify. Has some root letters as al-aziz, ayn, za. Brings and bestows the honor and respect. Allah bestows honor, dignity, and power on those who are accepted into His proximity, and thus the glow of His great qualities. Whoever abases himself and maintains taqwa will be honored by Allah, the holder of true glory. The more sincere our Islam, Iman, and Ihsan, the more honored we are in the eyes of Allah and His creation. Al-Mu'izz conveys the meaning of the one who honors whomsoever He pleases from among His servants, who strengthens His friends by His favor, protecting them against sinning, forgiving their faults, permitting them to reside in paradise, the abode of His beneficence. Then He honors them by permitting them to witness His manifestations and see His signs. From the root zayn, which has the following classical Arabic connotations: to be mighty, potent, strong, powerful, to be high, elevated, noble, exalted, to be honorable, noble, glorious, illustrious, to be indomitable, invincible, to be respected, cherished, dear, to be scarce, rare, precious, unattainable. Allah is Aziz, possessor of glory, and Mu'izz, giver of glory and honor. Whoever desires honor, to Allah belongs the honor of all of it. To Him do the good words ascend, and the good deeds He raises. As for those who plan an evil plan, they shall have a severe chastisement. As for their plan, it surely shall perish. He gives strength and honor to His obedient and loving servants. He gives material power to whoever He wills. He strengthens, glorifies, and makes it possible for someone or something to be respected. Say, O Allah, Master of the kingdom, You bestow the kingdom upon whomsoever You please, and take the kingdom away from whomsoever You please, and You exalt whomsoever You please, and abase whomsoever You please. In Your hand is the good, all of it. Surely You have the power over all things. Allah has said, those who take the unbelievers for guardians rather than the believers, do they seek honor from them? Surely all honor is Allah's. Al-Muzil comes from Adhala, to humiliate, to abase, to subdue, abase. Also from Dhalla, to abject, humble, to low. Al-Muzil is one of the attributes of Allah derived from the noun dhul, whatever results from subduing, vanquishing, overcoming, conquering someone. The Almighty says, walk in the ways of your Lord submissively. That is freely, He has also said. Its fruit shall be made accessible to them, always easy to reach. The Almighty has also said, those who oppose Allah and His Prophet shall be herded among the most abased. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala degrades whoever He wills. Human beings experience imperfections because Allah in His mercy will always give us cause to recognize our needs and insignificance. We can truly glorify the all-perfect and mighty Lord who covers human weakness and propels us towards His perfection. Al-Muzil is the one who abases or humiliates whomsoever He pleases, depriving them of all prestige. He is the one who justly abases His foes when they disobey Him and rebel against His commandments. He insults them and dismisses them, causing them to be hurled into the abode of chastisement, the inferno of hell. Al-Muzil is His foes by depriving them of knowing Him, enabling them to have their way and go against His injunctions. Al-Muzil is the one who abases the unbelievers through the power of the truth, who subdues whomsoever He pleases. Allah has not honored any servant of His more than He has to one who abases his own evil insinuating self, his nafs, and He has not abased any servant of His more than one who is preoccupied with trying to earn distinction, prominence, and prestige for himself. So basically these two are opposites. Al-Mu'izz is the honorer and the bestower, and He's friendly to those who are the true believers who are good. And then Al-Muzil is the Basir, the humiliator. He is always just though, so even if they are wrongdoers, He will punish them justly, and He will humiliate them and show them who truly is the most perfect, the best, and the mighty Lord.
Jazakallah. SubhanAllah. And one more thing I like to mention, if you guys look at the photo here, we have Sunnah campers who made these a bit ago for the last Asmaul Husna challenge that we did. So if any one of you who are watching this video are interested in having your craft for any one of the names of Allah featured on our slides, then you can feel free to comment below or comment in the chat, and feel free to just post on the Sunnah Camp Facebook group. And we'd love to add that in our slides, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, out.
Wow, that was such a just amazing class and lesson. Like it kind of just teaches us that, like, not kind of, but it teaches us just like how as much of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honors us as believers, and alhamdulillah, it's such an amazing thing to think about how we're raised in ranks as believers. At the same time, it's a reminder that we should stay humble. We should be humble people. We should just remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who honors us, but He is also the humiliator. And so that's just such a beautiful thing and a really beautiful reminder. So yeah, I'm going to now pass the mic. Actually, I think we have Sister Fatima going today, and she is going to be the tafsir for her surah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to Ayah 4 and 5 of our journey to learn and implement Surat Al-Hujurat. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulih al-Kareem. Amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Rabbi zidni ilma. The Prophet ﷺ taught the companions. The people at that blessed time had learned how to respect and to have manners. They understood how busy he was ﷺ, and would only visit him when he was available outside of his house. And if they wanted to meet him, they would sit outside and wait for him. They tried never to make Prophet Muhammad ﷺ come outside of his home unless it was for something important. But a lot of the times, foreigners would come from far-flung areas and have no special training in good manners, and they would come to visit Prophet Muhammad ﷺ with the idea that anyone who visits, with anyone who invites other people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and was working towards peace in the people, that they should not rest at any time, and that they had the right to visit him and see him anytime they pleased, in the day or the night, it didn't matter. If he was busy, when they came, he should be open to welcome them. That was their idea. Once Aqra bint Habis and some Bedouins came from the desert and would not inform somebody to tell him ﷺ that they were here. Instead, they would start shouting at the top of his lungs from outside of the apartments of his wives. He ﷺ lived like the people, with the people, and amongst the people. He had small rooms, one for each of his wives, and they were clustered together in a general area. So Aqra bin Habis shouted, "Ya Muhammad, come out to me, I am here." Aqra did not know which apartment he was in, so he just shouted in the general area. And this was right after Dhuhr time, when everybody would be sleeping or resting, and he was putting himself up too, basically saying, "I'm better. How can you say this? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his praise is the greatest." And he sallallahu alayhi wasallam was upset by these rude actions, but he took it calmly because that's the type of person he was. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to intervene. This was getting out of control. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُنَادُونَكَ مِنْ وَرَاءِ الْحُجُرَاتِ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Indeed, most of those who call out to you from outside your quarters have no understanding. He was scorning them. And then he said, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ صَبَرُوا حَتَّى تَخْرُجَ إِلَيْهِمْ لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Had they been patient until you could come out to them, it would have certainly been better for them. And Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. And he gave them instructions to wait patiently until he came out himself, instead of shouting from outside. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor ar-Rahim, all forgiving, most merciful, and he's a little bit less harsh on Aqra because of his Bedouin nature. He will overlook and forgive whatever happened from before then, and he will not hold them accountable for that trouble that they caused Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because now they know and they are not allowed to repeat this action again in the future. And now we know too, so let's put in action what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded. So when Muhammad ﷺ came out of his house, the ayah came, directed at Aqra. If only you waited and had a little respect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't worry, they don't know any better, they're ignorant. And we can not accept that all of humanity to be on the same level of akhlaq and iman. And we should deal with each one according to their level. Abu Bakr and Umar have a higher status, and their rewards is not the same as Aqra. Aqra was a Bedouin from the desert. He didn't know the manners. Now, there's different ways to say things. There's ajal, which is basically when you use your brain and you think before you speak and you restrain yourself if there's something bad that you want to say. And you can say, he doesn't know. That's how you say ajal. And then there's another way, jahal, which is basically anything comes to your mind, I'm going to say it. And you could say, he is ignorant. That is a lot meaner. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so kind, and he says, he doesn't know. He doesn't say he is ignorant. Now, time for action points. So today we're going to learn the golden rule, and that's to treat others how you want to be treated. Not to constantly nag or interrupt the people, especially people of knowledge and people we should respect. And we should not prioritize ourselves all the time. Instead, we should also think about other people and their feelings. And we should also remember our manners. Jazakallah khair.
Wow, Jazakallah so much, Fatima. That was honestly such a beautiful class. And I think that's also a really good reminder. It's something that we always hear, treat people the way you want to be treated. It's something that you've heard since we've all been in kindergarten pretty much. But I think it's something that we overlook sometimes because we've been told it so much. So I want to know, like, whether you're on Zoom or you're on YouTube, if you've ever had someone treat you in a rude way, treat you in a way that you didn't want to be treated in, like, how did that make you feel? comment that on YouTube, comment that on Zoom right now. If you're on with us on Zoom, I would love to know. I just know that like for me, I would feel maybe a little annoyed because it's just like, why should like it's kind of just thinking that like I'm treating you with respect, why aren't you treating me with respect? And not just me in general, but with everyone. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also just mentioned that they don't know instead of calling them ignorant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was understanding of that, and so just showing that, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. So yeah, and seeing some comments of people saying that like they would be angry and they'd be annoyed, so it's definitely an annoying feeling, I think. So yeah, jazakallah so much for all of you joining us again today for day 8. Inshallah, we hope to see you all every day throughout this month of Ramadan. Again, click the link in the description box down below, all our social medias, and you can also join us on Zoom. And yeah, inshallah, we will see you all tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.